Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, let me wish everybody a very happy Emirati Women's Day. Can we have a round of applause, please, and wish each other, and celebrating womanhood, entrepreneurship. A lot of resistance is taken to turn into a female entrepreneur. I have been listening to several women talking about standing up for themselves, believing in themselves. Our past speaker, Doctor, was so good about breakthroughs and breakdowns, and it was so inspiring to hear her journey. And today we're doing the panel on crafting cultures, women shaping the future of fashion and luxury. And I have the incredible honor to sit next to four amazing female entrepreneurs. I have Elise Bitar of Joubijoux. I think she's gotten a lot of traction today. I love that. We have the wonderful Faiza of Bouguessa. We have the amazing Selma Benomar. And we have Leen Abdelnour. Fashion and luxury are not just industries. They are cultural stories we wear, live, and pass on. So, my first question is for Ms. Faiza. Your brand has been celebrated for blending modest fashion with modern elegance. What inspired you to take this path?
Very simply because I had been living in Dubai for about 6-7 years, and I had noticed that at the time before I started my brand, which was 11 years ago, 12 years ago, all abayas were black, and there was no way to define one brand from another, either through the fabric, through the cut or silhouette. There was just these different trends of like farasha, abayas, and different shapes of abayas, but nothing would tell you whether the person purchased this abaya for a certain price or the other, or if there was a certain brand recognizable from it, aside from the little plastic tag that was attached on the bottom right or bottom left or at the back of the abaya. And I thought, these women that I see around me wearing abayas are wearing the latest trends in everything, shoes, bags, makeup. I can see they're so refined, there's strong, beautiful perfumes, but the abayas are not up to date, in my opinion, and I'm sure there might be some that would like to have something that is aligned to the international international trend, sorry. So I was thinking that is maybe something that nobody has catered to them in that sense. And I thought of trying to merge these aesthetic with the guidelines of abaya. So I started to study and run in trying to understand what are my limits, and I started to create with those guidelines in mind. And the response when I launched the brand was extremely positive, and I had a lot of customers who are still customers today who told me, thank you so much for creating this. I've been dreaming of something like this for so many years and never found anything like it. So that was my intention initially.
Phenomenal. Selma, your kaftans are rooted in heritage, yet appeal globally. How do you balance honoring tradition with innovation? Sorry, should I repeat myself?
Yeah,
okay. Your kaftans are rooted in heritage, yet appeal globally. How do you balance honoring tradition with innovation?
So for me, actually, tradition and innovation are not opposites. Okay. They are actually two parts from the same story. We live with our traditions. We are rooted with our traditions. And especially in the Arab world, we are very attached to our traditions, to our heritage. But at the same time, we are modern women. We like to live a modern life. And we live in a fast modern world today.
Very true.
And so my vision was to how can I bring these traditions and keep my traditions, but make them relevant in today's world for today's women. So I come from Morocco, which has an incredible heritage, incredible craftsmanship, artistry, handwork in a lot of fields. So I ask myself a question always: how can I keep this heritage and adapt it to today's world for the new generations? I think this is the vision I always have, and this is the vision that made me make my brand. And Arab women in general, as I said, are very attached to our heritage and our traditions. So we just need to find a way to make the traditional outfits wearable, easier, breathable, and practical for the women of today. And I think this is how we can blend both of them. And as I said, they go together because we have to keep our traditions living. It's not because we are going into a modern world that we need to give up on our traditions and heritage. It's the opposite. I believe that our heritage makes what we create today even more special and attracts the eyes of everyone in the world, actually. Even big designers are inspired from our Arabic traditions and details when they create their lines, right?
I agree.
So why wouldn't we?
Why not? That is such an insightful insight into how tradition and innovation go hand in hand together. Thank you, Selma. My next question is for Elise. You moved from luxury watches and jewelry into creating your own brand. What made you take that leap?
Thank you, Ada, for the question. So first, I want to say that I'm very honored to be here today on this special Emirati Women's Day. And it's a pleasure to share with you this day all the successful women. Back to your question. So after spending many years on luxury watches and jewelry, I felt that there is something missing, a playful, versatile side of the jewelry that we wear. And I've always loved colors, designs, and art. So I created Joubijoux by merging that passion with my experience. So it was a natural step to bring my own vision to life. An elegant yet playful jewelry brand designed for women to be mixed, layered, and worn from day to night, and where they can express themselves with it, and it moves with them. So it's not the classical jewelry that you see everywhere.
I know, I can see the wonderful layers you've been wearing with
so
the
much.
baby pink. It's looking amazing on your hands.
Thank you. And I believe whatever we wear, even if it's not jewelry, it should be enjoyed. So when you look at it, you should feel joy inside of you.
Do you also feel that jewelry is a form of self-expression and moods as well? Some days you want to feel happy.
That's why we have pieces that are very versatile, reversible pieces. So, for example, a pair of hoops that has one side in blue, one side in pink. So you can move it with you from day to night if you want to change outfit, if your mood has changed, if you're today you want to wear it with a pair of jeans, tomorrow with a dress, or in the same day you want to switch your outfit, you can switch even your jewelry to different sides.
Amazing. Leen, how are you?
I'm good.
Looking
How are
amazing.
you? Thank you.
Lynyer is known for bold sculptural jewelry. What was your vision when you started this, and what gap did you want to fill?
Thank you for your question. First, hi to everyone. Thank you for being here. So I actually started Lynyer from a very personal place. I had been working as a fashion buyer with luxury brands for 8 years between here and Dubai. And I was getting married. I was getting married to a Pakistani guy, so we all know how much Pakistanis love jewelry, especially when it comes to weddings.
Yes.
And I was looking for pieces that I wanted to wear that would represent me. I wanted pieces that would make me feel confident on my special day, that have a hint of tradition, but not something that I grew up looking at, something that's a bit different. And so I looked around and I found an amazing artisan in Lebanon, which is where I'm from. I started sampling with him, and it just organically started growing into a business. This is my third business, so I'm notorious for starting businesses, but it's my long-lasting one. And yeah, so the brand ended up being something that I wanted to make me feel confident on my wedding day or my wedding events. And over time, the product and the business became something that gives me confidence, and I see how much it gives confidence to a lot of women that wear the pieces because they're so statement, they're so bold, they're very unapologetically maximalist, not very subdued, not understated. True. So that was my aim, really, to build confidence myself, and then I found that I was kind of providing that to a lot of women that would wear the pieces.
Phenomenal. And when you were developing Lynyer and whilst you were jewelry shopping, did you feel that there is this entire overwhelming feeling when it comes to trousseau, wedding jewelry shopping, and how wedding jewelry pieces can translate later on to daily wear pieces? Or did you feel you want to have those statement pieces?
Yes, so it was a bit tricky because when I was starting the brand, again, coming from a fashion retail background, I was looking at the market and what's happening around. There were so many jewelry brands that were just, popping up everywhere. And my dilemma was, do I design pieces that are only for occasions? Or do I design pieces that a customer can wear every day? What I ended up doing is I created pieces for a customer that's comfortable wearing bold pieces every day.
Phenomenal.
And yeah, that's how it happened.
Amazing. Now let's dive deeper into personal identity. And this question is open to all, so ladies, please engage. How much of your personal culture and background shows up in your designs? Okay.
I can start. So my Lebanese roots, I'm Lebanese, and my journey in Dubai both plays a big role in my designs. So from Lebanon, I carry this love for art, colors, and storytelling. And from Dubai, I draw my inspiration from its diversity, different culture, and modern energy. So Joubijoux is really a blend of and creativity mixed with the fresh, playful spirit.
Amazing. Faiza?
Oh my God, this can take days to answer. But first of all, I always say this, is that personal identity and your culture should not be forced onto your work. It's something that will come out regardless. And for me, it very often happens that during the development of a collection, I am inspired by different elements, most of the time related to art, architecture, and other elements. And later on, and it can be years, I noticed that my grandmother was wearing a very similar bag than the one that I created and named after her. Or a campaign photo of a model wearing my collection, or one of my campaigns, looks like my dad wearing a trench coat back in the 90s. And I find, my history, my personal history, and my roots, some fabrics that look like the hayak from Algeria, unintentionally selected, and I realize it afterwards. So very often it happens for me afterwards because I don't force it. It comes naturally. It's not great for storytelling, but it's nice to notice it and realize it afterwards.
So you have déjà vu moments after
yeah.
you've done
I think it's more effortless this way, at least for me.
Amazing.
For me, my identity is a reflection of who I am. literally, because I decided to build a brand that will honor a very specific traditional outfit and bring it in a modern way in the modern world. So my Moroccan roots have a big influence about the identity of my brand. And I lived in Paris, in France, for a long time, so I believe I got from there a different side of fashion, more structured, more refined, more haute couture. And coming to Dubai and being in Dubai in such incredible moving city, international city, that gives you exposure to not only the country or the city where you are, but to a population from all over the world. So you can, when you are building something in Dubai or in the UAE, you're not only doing it for the people of the country, but you are actually exposing your work to a small representation of the whole world.
Exactly. There's so many people here.
Exactly. Which is a huge advantage, actually, for
Very
people
true.
who are doing any kind of business in Dubai. You don't have to travel the world to present your work. You already have a representation of population from all over the world within one place.
Very, very true.
So I think this has shaped the identity of my brand, and I make sure always to keep in mind these three elements when I'm doing or designing anything.
Amazing. Leen?
Yes. I kind of agree with a lot of what you ladies have said. I didn't really notice or realize that culture was inspiring me or affecting the way I design things. I grew up in Saudi Arabia most of my life. Then I moved to London in the 90s. So all I wore were hoops and chokers, and that was my style. After launching the brand, gradually I started realizing actually the Emirati and the Saudi customers are my biggest clientele. Although, I mean, I launched a brand out of Dubai, moved to Singapore, I wasn't really focusing on the GCC market. But naturally, I realized because I grew up in this region, I was designing for this customer without even knowing that. And they were coming to me. So now I really focus on nurturing that customer base.
Amazing. Amazing. Do you also feel that since we are in Dubai, the culture and the fluidity of so many expatriates, local people coming in, the fusion of so many cultures. For example, for me personally, I've hopped countries. I lived in Singapore, I lived in London, and I am Indian in origin, but I never felt anywhere was home till I actually moved to Dubai, because most of the people are not from Dubai, and it's a way to connect. And I think I am more inclined and adaptable to the Emirati culture, to the Arabic culture. In our jewelry designs, we do have the Indian heritage, but we do try to respect and honor the Emirati heritage as well. And I do see that in all the 4 brands you ladies have developed, that the culture of Dubai and the Emirati culture is being very much so honored in your brand designs. That's amazing. Okay, my next question is a joint question for Selma and Faiza. You both work deeply with traditional garments like kaftans and abayas. How do you ensure they stay relevant to younger generation?
I'm not trying to do so.
Okay.
First of all, I want to highlight that my brand evolved from being, I launched it as a abaya brand, and then we evolved because even women who wear abayas don't only wear abayas. And so as I discovered my customer, I realized that there was another gap to fill. And then there was also my friends who are not necessarily Muslim and dressing modestly, who started to express that they loved the aesthetic of my brand, but they were not dressing modestly. or wearing abayas. So I was feeling bad because I was trying to be as inclusive as possible, but at the same time I realized that even for me, I was not designing. So I started to really include as many options of ready-to-wear, abayas, travel wear, and modest dressing together with regular ready-to-wear. And today my philosophy is that all brands should offer modest wear and abayas in their range, including luxury brands. I don't understand why there are some luxury brands present in the Middle East that don't cater to the woman who dresses modestly or who wears abayas. It could be just an extension of a Chanel jacket that could become a abaya, and they don't do that. So it's something that, to me, should be available everywhere. And as for the younger generation, I tried to do that at some point. Well, really trying, intentionally. And I didn't see a reaction until I noticed that my customers who were coming with their younger daughter, who was totally uninterested with the product that her mother was trying, at some point would come after a couple of months or years to shop with us because she would finish her studies, get married, start to get into the work environment. And we are known for making quite corporate and sharp tailoring and power suit for women, basically.
Yes.
So they would come and shop from us so that they could be taken seriously in their work environment because they noticed that their previous style didn't work anymore for them. So today I don't force it. I just really create what I'm inspired by and what I want to wear. And that translates really well with our performance. So.
Wow. Well, me, I do enforce it. For me, I believe it's actually, I take it as a mission. I really believe that keeping our traditions alive is something that we have a responsibility to do, especially in a fast-moving world. Yeah? Okay. So I do believe that tradition only continues being relevant or living if we continue to adapt it to our modern world. So if we take a traditional outfit, and not only in the Arab world, but in all different nations, we all have beautiful traditional outfits. But if we don't adapt it to the modern world, the new generations will just stop identifying themselves with it, or they will. The young generation needs to be sensibilisé.
Sensible.
So, yeah, sensitive. Yeah, we have exactly. So a young woman today needs to understand that she doesn't have to choose between being proud of her roots and showing it, and being a modern young woman. She can be both, actually. And once she realizes that she can be both, she will effortlessly and naturally embrace her traditions and keep them living with her and for her daughters and next generations. But for us to reach that, we have to adapt our traditions to the modern world. We can't keep them freezed as they were for many years, and we just expect the new generations to just pick them up like that and keep going with them. So for me personally, I take it as a mission, and I'm doing everything in my hands to make modernize and bring modern touches to our traditions, so that the new generation will identify themselves and keep them going. Could it be a abaya, a kaftan, a thobe? the new generation needs to understand that it's not just an old outfit, it's actually a story, it's an identity, and they have also a responsibility to keep them living with them.
I agree. I agree. Now, Leen and Elise, jewelry carries deep cultural meaning. How do you make sure designs remain personal and wearable every day, yet luxurious?
For me, jewelry is about balance. So I create pieces that carry emotions and meaning, but fit seamlessly into our daily life. So we can use it, as we said, from day to night, to work, to any occasion, to dinner. Using 18-karat gold and diamonds keeps the luxury and timelessness, while playful touch, like colors, versatile pieces, stackable pieces, make it more personal and easy to wear daily. So the idea is that luxury shouldn't stay in a box. It should live with you. It should move with you.
So. Yes, absolutely. Leen?
I mean, to be honest, having pieces that you'd want to wear every day, it depends on your mood, especially with jewelry. So you might be in the mood to wear a pair of big earrings today because I don't know, you're wearing a very simple outfit, you want to spice it up, you want to complete the look, you feel like something is missing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're wearing a whole printed dress and you just want to wear a tiny pair of diamonds, let's say.
I agree.
And so with my brand, with my jewelry, I have a certain aesthetic. It's really if you have a slightly more minimal look with your clothes and you want to add an interesting conversation starter to the look that you're going out in. And I mean, it depends on the person. Like you could see the pair of the earrings that we design, you could be like, there's no way I'm going to go out in this or go to work in this. And there are women that will pair these earrings, wear them with a white shirt, a pair of, flared jeans, go to work or go to a coffee date, and then put the same earrings on, wear a gown, and go to a gala dinner. So it's very versatile, but it's versatile depending on your personality and how you style yourself.
Very insightful. Now, this discussion is open for all four of you. Now let's talk about the journey. What has been one of the biggest challenges you faced as a women entrepreneur in fashion and luxury? You want to start? Okay.
So one of the biggest challenges has been earning trust and recognition, especially here in a highly competitive market like Dubai, that has also very established names and brands. But I see that challenges gives motivation. And as a woman entrepreneur, I think you have to work twice as harder to prove your credibility. Yeah, so it's what kept me kept me to be authentic, to bring my own vision to life, and that I always believe that there is space for new approach of playful jewelry.
Amazing. Faiza?
For me, I would say there's two elements. There is the fact that having kids, there was COVID. I had a baby at the same time, and I was losing control of my passion. And having to switch my mental state to stop thinking about hoping to have passion all the time and focusing on my business. I think a lot of us creative entrepreneurs, we tend to close our eyes on the revenue-focused business, like entrepreneurship, that we have to actually be always plugged in. and we want to just hide into the creative space because that's what makes us, connect to what we do and be excited about what we do. However, being able to connect to the business aspect of things allows us to continue living our passion. And that's something that I had to shift, and it's still a challenge for me to actually have this constant meeting with my teams, focusing on revenue, planning our targets, our budgets, and staying on track with that, because the truth is I created this business because I am a creative and I wanna put this artistic side of me out. So I think that's something that's very important for creative entrepreneurs to keep in mind, that we should always outdo ourselves. At some point in our journey, we have to think of raising capital. And tech companies or tech entrepreneurs, like other kind of entrepreneurs, might have that in mind straight away. But for us creatives, we just don't have that vision right away, and we just want to create, and we want to, be as generous as possible with our vision and with our creativity. And that was one of the biggest challenge for me, to actually understand and to grasp to that the passion is not going to be there always. I have to have a purpose, and I have to focus on, being able to do that for as long as possible. So that means I have to focus on the business aspect of my entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah, so you feel that cash flow continues creativity. Thank you, Faiza. Selma?
I agree a lot with Faiza on that point, actually. And people, they see from the outside the glamour of fashion. They see the beautiful dresses. They see the photo shoots,
Yes,
the events.
Campaigns, yes.
But there is a whole behind the scenes that no one is aware of, only you, especially as a self-made brand where you didn't have investors come in and put in money for you to start big. So you always work with two hats. You have the hat of the creative, which actually the soul of the brand. But then you have businesswoman hats, which you have to wear almost exactly. And you have to switch those hats every hour. So 1 minute you are working with your team, with your production, with your embroiderer, with your artisans, and the next second you have a meeting talking about numbers.
Yes.
So this switch is very challenging, and it's what makes a brand run. You can be as creative as you want. You can be the best creative. Your brand is still a business, and in order to sustain, you need to be excelling in numbers too, not only in the beauty of what you are creating. So it's a big challenge that a lot of people don't take seriously, and it's really for me, one of the biggest challenges in building my brand. Although I come from business management curriculum, means I studied business management, and building a brand was something that shouldn't be very difficult for me, and still it was very challenging, especially as a woman, because we don't like to fail, and you have to be excelling in both.
Yes.
As a creative, you need to create something that people like, and you need to excel as a businesswoman. So the challenge is twice.
Leen?
My biggest challenge has been myself. Literally, for the past 8 years, the self-doubt, listening to outside noise. A lot of people were asking me why I haven't raised money. Why don't you work with celebrities? Why don't you open a store here? Why don't you design pieces that everyone can wear? So all that back and forth and that self-doubt, and I find women tend to have a lot more self-doubt than men do. We're very hard on ourselves. I think that was my biggest challenge. Now, 8 years down the line, I feel a lot more confident with what I do. And actually, a lot of the decisions that I made and I wasn't sure why I was making turned out to be the right decisions. It's just I was listening to my gut and I wasn't 100% sure that I should. And that was my biggest challenge because I feel like I wasted a lot of energy and time going back and forth between decisions and comparing my journey to other brands' journeys and thinking, oh, they're this big by now, I've been doing this for this long, why have I not grown this much or why have I not raised money yet? So I would highly recommend that if anyone is starting a business or has a business and is getting that self-doubt regularly to stop everything and like maybe do some work around that because that would really help you excel with a lot of other things in life.
So clearing out the noise, self-confidence. Amazing, Leen. Faiza, you've showcased internationally, including Milan Fashion Week. What do you see as the biggest opportunity in Middle Eastern designers in the global stage?
I've been showcasing for 10 years. Since I started, my second collection was in Milan and in Paris, and ever since I have presented every season in Paris Fashion Week. Not through a show, not through a presentation. I was participating in a showroom or organizing my own showroom for buyers to visit and come and purchase the brand. Today, I think the biggest opportunity, I was having this conversation with a friend earlier, is that our market is the biggest opportunity. All eyes are on our market. We have, I know because I just had a conversation when one of the big buyers from the retailers of the region telling me that some of the biggest international brands are placing their biggest budget the retailer is placing their biggest budget on the brands, and they are like trusting us, and we are their best market globally. Before China, before Asia, before America. So I don't think that an emerging brand should try and go abroad because it's so hard. From my experience, I've done this for 10 years, and I'm still going to do it because when buyers want to see me there. But today, most of the buyers that I showcase my collection to are here in the region, and they come to see us in our showroom. They don't even want to come see us in Paris. So if you're a starting brand and you want to actually have global exposure, make sure you expose yourself in this market, and you'll get global exposure probably better than if you go in a very crowded market in Europe or in the US, where there's million brands showcasing at the same time as you, and press and buyers won't have time for you to, for you as a small brand.
So Middle East is the most vital market then, ladies. Elise, as a new founder, what is the biggest lesson you've learned in establishing your brand?
So the biggest lesson I've learned in establishing my brand is that building a brand is a marathon, not a sprint.
Very true.
Yeah, so consistency, patience, and staying true to your vision are what truly makes the difference.
Amazing. Looking ahead, what excites you most about the future of fashion and luxury in the Middle East region? Ladies, open to all. Looking ahead, what excites you most about the future of fashion and luxury in the Middle East region?
Okay. What excites me the most is that we no longer, exactly, we no longer need to follow the trends. Actually, the Middle East now is creating its own vision and its own direction in fashion.
Very true.
And as I said, we don't have to follow trends anymore. We just need to be authentic to ourselves. And for so long, Paris, Milan, New York were the capitals for fashion capitals. But today, Dubai is one of the biggest fashion capitals in the world.
I agree.
And you can see that in all the collaborations that are made here in the country, the big events, the international events that are coming to us in Dubai and being done by the biggest brands and companies. So this is something really very powerful. And as Faiza said earlier, we no longer need to go to them. They're actually coming to us here in the region. And it's very super powerful, and it's just creating a dynamic in the fashion industry and giving a lot opportunities to homegrown brands in the region.
Amazing.
Hello?
Yeah.
I want to add on what you ladies just said is actually what's super exciting is the fact that we are embracing our trends, or I don't want to call them trends, but our look, our culture, our traditions, more and more. I mean, I used to live in Dubai 7 years ago, and I barely would see anyone who is not Arab or not Emirati wearing an abaya or a kaftan, especially during Ramadan season. And for the last few years, it's very highly celebrated. And the culture, the design, and not just that, the dressing modestly is not about being modest anymore. It's a style. It's an aesthetic. True. Like, you know, I don't necessarily want to show so much skin, but I have a certain vibe that I want to go for. And that comes from our culture and from our tradition. But it's just been, now that the West has translated it into, you know, this is my minimal aesthetic, oversized, you know, we've invented oversized.
How suits.
So that's very exciting to see that how much we've embraced that.
I agree, and I see this every day actually. And I think before there was this quiet luxury movement, I saw it with also not just the Emirati or Arab women who showed up in our boutique and would come and want to actually create their own aesthetic and express their own identity, their own contemporary modern identity, blend in with their culture and with their heritage. There is also another layer of expats who actually are often in touch with the locals and who respect deeply the local community, and who also deal with Saudi, travel to Saudi, and who want to actually still look like themselves but embrace the modest aesthetic. That was happening before even there was like the quite luxury, quite aesthetic, quite luxury movement. And so now to see that even the whole world is, you know, responding positively to this aesthetic. And like you said, that we have now our own blending of the modern global trends with our own culture. And there is a new movement that is emerging from the Arab world where, I don't know if you have noticed that in all the parties over the summer, everyone was playing Arabic music. It's like becoming trendy, Habibi, and all of these things. So there is this huge movement around the Arabic culture that's being celebrated. I am French-Algerian. I grew up in France, and we've always been kind of like, you know, felt like we were not home. And now to see that there are Europeans and the rest of the world that are, you know, kind of attracted to this culture is really amazing for me to see.
Yeah, it is.
I just want to add one point which is very important, is this is possible today in the UAE and in Dubai because Dubai is not only celebrating the Emirati traditions, they give space to other cultures to shine.
I agree.
Like it can be Indian culture, Arabic culture from other countries, Chinese. I mean, they give this space for every culture to shine. So you don't even have to identify to the Emirati culture. As long as you identify to your own culture, you're bringing back from your country, you are celebrated. And this is making a huge difference, and it's making this special thing about Dubai.
How profound, Selma, how profound. Couldn't agree more. Leen, your brand works with artisans globally. How do you see collaborations shaping the future of the industry?
Good question. Well, I mean, First, I want to say thank you to the artisans that have believed in me from the very beginning, to take me seriously and start sampling my designs when it was literally, there was nothing there. Collaborations are very important, but intentional collaborations are even more important. So having similar values and aligning those values to creating something even more interesting is key. For example, the artisans that we started working with in Lebanon, it was a relationship that was very much built on trust from the get-go. These guys actually gave me the best payment terms I could ever ask for. I would chase them for invoices, like, let me pay you guys. And they would just be like, don't worry about it, in very typical Lebanese manner. 5 years down the line, the whole explosion in Beirut happened and their entire store was shattered. And because of that relationship that we've had, I was able to give them money to rebuild what they've lost. And that just shows you, it's literally, collaborations is just a circulation of energy. They give you and you return, and it's just an ongoing relationship. And it opens up so many opportunities for so many small businesses as well.
And it is a circulation of supportive energy, how your artisans supported you. So my next question segues into how important is it for women to support each other in business?
I think that women supporting women is everything.
I agree.
It is the essence of everything. We are not in competition between each other. We really, when we see a successful women's story, it actually just opens the door to others to believe that why not me? And this is amazing. And I have really seen people paths change because of a simple recommendation, an introduction, a presentation. So women supporting each other is something truly important because we have to support each other. No one is supporting us.
Absolutely. Elise?
So it's essential to women support each other because it opens opportunities, open doors, create opportunities, and inspire confidence. And like she said, collaboration over competition, it's how we all move forward.
I want to also add that supporting women is very important. But it's not supporting women for the sake of supporting women. And I might be a little bit controversial here. If you believe in a woman and what she's doing 100%, I'm going to support you because I believe in what you're doing. But I'm not going to support someone because she's only a woman.
I agree.
So that's one thing I want to point out. However, my entire team is literally all women. And before I started this company, I used to, as I said, I worked in fashion, and I always reported to women, and I've had a series of not very nice bosses. So I said, I'm never going to work with women. Funny enough, my entire team is women, and they are the best. I mean, I'm so thankful for them. And also all the buyers, the UNAS buyer, the level, all the buyers that have really made my brand grow have been women. But I want to focus on the fact that it's because, yes, we're women, and because we believe in what we're doing.
So we're supporting hardworking women here, correct? Faiza?
For me, I have two points that I would like to cover in answering this question. Is first, when I started my brand 12 years ago, I was very isolated. I felt very lonely. Not really having anyone to contact. I couldn't find a mentor. I really struggled to start in such a young market and not really knowing how to do things. I didn't study fashion. I didn't study business. I was a flight attendant for Emirates prior to doing that. And And I was really struggling, and I thought, if I make it one day, I'll find a way to give back and to give answers to people who also are in the beginning of their journey. So with that in mind, I'm gonna start very soon a podcast where I interview key leaders of our industry and people who can answer different points and topics that I felt I was struggling with when I started my journey. And the intention is really just to help the community. The second is in terms of supporting women. My brand, Bouguessa, is actually, the essence is to support women and to give them some sort of like superpower suit that they can wear and really feel confident when going out and you know, wearing those clothes that we create for them. So really inspiring confidence is part of the essence of our brand, and that's the core of you know, our values, and supporting others is really something that we care a lot for.
Thank you. Selma?
Yeah, I'll just add a small thing, because usually when we talk about supporting women, we just think about two business women supporting each other. It goes beyond that, because as a businesswoman, I work with partners, I work with suppliers, I work with... So in a way of supporting women, if I need something, any supply, I will go and look if there is any women artisan doing what I am looking for, and then I'll go to her first. This is a way of supporting women. When I did a beautiful project last Ramadan, and I had to work in a different field than fashion, which is interior design. And I was looking for specific pieces, decoration pieces for the tent. And I found a small corporate in Mexico, run by women only, in a very remote village. And they were building or making these handmade lamps, all women working, run by women, and in a super remote village. And it took them more than 10 days just to have it reach Mexico City airport from Mexico. But these kind of things that makes really sense, or the essence of supporting. As women, we need to look for things like that. And when you are looking for a supplier, look first if what you are looking for isn't somewhere done by a beautiful cooperative of women, and support them. So this is also a kind of supporting women in the industry. It's not only business women between
just to
each other.
Support artisans in need as well.
Yes.
Amazing, Selma. Leen?
I just want to add one more point
Yes,
about supporting women. Another very important thing, especially for business owners or people that work at corporations, paying attention to women when they have children, and really, because the woman is still trying to balance things out. I mean, I have a 2-year-old. It's not easy. And allowing for women to, I don't know, bring their baby on a Zoom call if they really need to, or breastfeed while they're talking to you. It's not a big deal. And honestly, I wasn't like this before I became a mom. And after becoming a mom, it completely changed.
Amazing. Okay, so as we wrap up, what is one piece of advice you would give to a young woman dreaming of starting her own brand? Elise?
I would tell her, believe in your vision. Start small, but stay consistent. And don't expect that everything would be perfect from the beginning.
Amazing. Faiza?
I would say just learn by doing, and don't worry about, like you said, perfection, and shut down the negative self-talk.
Actions more than results. Phenomenal.
I think the best advice I would give to someone starting a brand is make sure you are doing, building something that you really love. Because it's a long journey. Success takes time, and the return profit takes time. There will be failures, you will fail a lot, you will be demotivated, there will be a lot of things that will demotivate you. Why am I doing this? Especially if you are making something from scratch, that means that you are putting your own money, your own savings into it. And nothing comes easy. So it's on the long run. You will start seeing returns after a long time. So what will keep you going on is the fact that you are really doing something you love, and this passion will give you the motivation to go on. So passion is super important, and of course consistency. You have to be consistent, do it every day, until one day it will for sure be a success.
Consistency and loving what you do.
Wow.
I'll be very short. Two things. First, if you want to start something, start small for sure. And if you can, make sure that you're not in a stressed out place where you're struggling to pay the rent, because working from a stressed out place is quite tough, and it definitely doesn't allow you to see things clearly. Second, be careful who you take advice from. Take advice from people that have done what you're trying to do and have done it successfully. Do not take advice from people that have probably done something else and were very successful at it, but don't understand your industry and don't understand what you're trying to accomplish.
Thank you so much, ladies, and thank you so much, everybody, for sitting and listening to this wonderful panel. These women here seated are not just crafting the future of fashion and luxury. They are truly inspiring through their stories, through such profound insight, which a lot of people shy away from sharing. So I'm so grateful that the four of you had such a heart-to-heart, and I also got to learn so much from just conversing with the four of you today. So what an honor I've had. Thank you so much.